Hey gang, thanks for watching. One more week until most fantasy playoffs begin, and you need a win. We'll try and help you today by talking about some Week 13 ranks, but please remember that we had to make this video before Week 12 was even over. The Steeler-Raven game was happening after we recorded this, so there are going to be some changes to my Week 13 ranks as the rest of this week unfolds. Hey there, I'm Chris. This hopefully is a channel that you enjoy watching, and we will scroll my Week 13 ranks as we talk about some specific players during the course of this particular edition of the show. But again, please realize, very, very provisional, very preliminary. There are a lot of uncertain players. We don't really know what's going to happen with them, so just go to harrisfootball.com for the latest ranks all the way up until Sunday. Take the ranks that are scrolling during this show with a rather giant grain of sand. That would probably be for the best. No grain of sand when it comes to Deebo Samuel. I'm very excited to show you some of his film and talk about what makes him such a must-start player. Let's do it. So Samuel returned from his severe hamstring pull that he suffered Week 7. He played Sunday against the Rams. He sure did play. 13 targets, 11 catches, 133 yards. The box score makes him look like a fantasy starter this week against the Bills. I agree. I have him number 23 standard. I have him 20 in PPR at the moment, even with Brandon Ayuk, another player we like, returning for the 49ers. Let's do it. Let's take a look at a few plays from Sunday that make him look good, but also show us why he's going to be hard to stop. And if you've seen any Deebo Samuel playing at all this year, this has been the kind of highlight that you're used to. This counts as a reception. You know it's essentially a handoff jet motion, right? And Samuel isn't a burner. You can see that, right? He's fine, but he's not out there running 4.3. He's a 4.5 guy. But, at 5'11", whatever, and 214 pounds, also known as running back sized, when he turns a corner like this, a running back is basically what he is. I think to some degree that description, even though it's fitting, I think it maybe insults what Deebo can be in the future. He's got the makings of a smart receiver. There's a 26-yard gain over the middle where he beats a linebacker in coverage. Big deal, right? It's a linebacker. But if we take it back and we watch it from above, you'll see pre-snap. The Rams have a single safety high, but when we show you the snap, you'll see the second safety is going to drop back. It's a modified cover 2, and that second safety winds up threatened by a different receiver. Against some coverages, Deebo's job on this deep cross might be to sit down in the middle of the field if there's someone in front of him. But because he sees the other safety drop back and he feels a linebacker taking him man-to-man, Deebo keeps running. It's a good read by the quarterback. It's also a good read by the receiver. I think that gives you hope that sort of as a Chris Godwin type route runner, Samuel has a future down the field. I mean, let's face it, right now, this stuff that we're showing you here is what you're signing up for, and I counted double-digit times on Sunday when the 49ers just said, get the ball in his hands. Let him pinball off of people like a running back. On this one, Deebo is split wide left, and you see at the snap. This is take three steps and turn around, right? And we're going to freeze it right as the ball's thrown, right as he's catching it. A great play. If it's a 3rd and 2, fantastic, right? Most receivers, they run this route, they pretty much catch it and they fall down or they take a hit or whatever. And you can see the Rams defense here has done nothing wrong, right? 2 tacklers are right there. They're within 3 yards of him. And it's going to be just a short gain. No. I mean, what do we mean when a running back who plays wide receiver? That's pretty much it right there. It's a little pigeonholing to say that this is all Samuel will ever be able to do. But it's very clear that the 49ers have a type. They drafted Ayuk in the first round. Before they did, the person I compared him to most was Deebo Samuel. They have decided that open field running for wideouts is an inefficiency in the league, and they can take advantage. This one's a big play. Under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter of a tie game. Man coverage with Samuel split wide left against Jarius Williams. It's not a complicated route. It's a simple slant, and Samuel executes it well, and if you get this coverage and he beats his man, you get him in the open field, good stuff happens. So it takes an offensive philosophical commitment and some concentrated looks for a receiver to be every week startable in fantasy like this, in this particular fashion. We always kind of pictured maybe Ty Montgomery could be this kind of player, right? But if he's on a team that just doesn't use him this way, not enough, can't bust through for fantasy, right? But fact is, this is where Deebo plays, and they do value him and what he can do. It's not going to be double-digit targets every week, but the offense is partly built around the fact that he can do these things. So right now, you are starting Deebo Samuel. Okay, I'll get to more breakdown of plays in just a moment. Let's thank our sponsor. You know what the little satchel means. It means Manscaped is sponsoring. This is my lawnmower 3.0. Here it is right now. It's an electric body trimmer. Absolutely great. A great gift idea. Let me tell you about it. Manscaped is good for any areas that need trimming, particularly good for below-the-belt grooming. Before you dismiss below-the-belt grooming as a silly idea, I'm going to say I use it. It's nice. I would recommend asking your partner whether they enjoy the fact that you're a hairy wildebeest down there. My guess is not so much. With Manscaped, you can be sure that you'll never suffer a nick or a cut in a place that would be really bad because the Lawnmower 3.0 has skin-safe technology and a ceramic blade. You'll never have a problem. It works great. It's a stocking stuffer for someone you love or for yourself that will benefit someone you love, aesthetically speaking. Don't be a hairy wildebeest. Check out all the great stuff Manscaped has at manscaped.com and use the code HarrisTube for 20% off right now with free shipping. Go do it. Okay, so you don't need me to tell you to start DK Metcalf. He's leading the NFL in receiving yards, pretty good. We were kind of an early adopter of him here at the channel and at the podcast, but I thought I would just show you a couple of plays from Monday night that just gives us an indication of what we're working with here. What's crazy about this kid, what makes him the next Julio Jones, is the fact that he can go do this against a very good corner, right? Darius Slay absolutely covered and still go up and get a 50-50 ball on the dead run, and it's being ripped away from him, and he still hangs on to it. And that he's also this guy. I want you to watch the Eagles' Rodney McLeod come up and put what he expects to be a devastating hit on DK Metcalf, and he just bounces off of him. This is the same person that just did these last two plays. The fact that he's both, is probably what's craziest about this kid. The one thing I did not like was this one. I mean, it's great that Russell Wilson's hitting him in the red zone. It's a nice gain. But at the end there, don't jump, dude. On the game broadcast replay, we'll just show you a couple times. Look at how his right foot and ankle bend as he hits the ground. Man, if you tear your Achilles doing stuff like that, I am going to be mad. Okay, just a couple of thoughts about Kyler Murray. We're still starting him. He's my QB6 for this week. Sunday was the first time he's been held under 20 fantasy points. We're not panicking just yet. But I just want to show you this throw because to me it indicates that his throwing shoulder's okay. There's concern, right? But it's a fall away, under duress, 30-yard throw. I mean, is it on a rope? Maybe not, but it's not lofted up. It's a pretty big third down conversion in the game, and I think his throwing shoulder's okay. But it is fair to wonder whether the Cardinals maybe don't want to expose Kyler's shoulder to more damage as a runner, especially when you watched Kenyon Drake not get there in short yardage over and over and over again on Sunday. Murray only had 5 carries for 31 yards without rushing. We all know he's really not a great fantasy quarterback. He's probably not a great real-life thrower just yet. But I think you have to start him against the Rams. A quarterback who is on the borderline, Cam Newton. He's so bad as a thrower right now, but it's always so tempting to use him in a bad week for quarterback matchups. Week 13 is. I still have Cam at QB 12 right now because, he's a better than even money bet to score a rushing touchdown every week, but I want to show you something Arizona did to him on Sunday. This was the first drive of the game. I want you to check with me what personnel grouping here is on the field for Arizona. We've got 4 down linemen. We've got 4 linebackers. And we've got 3 defensive backs. That's right, the Cardinals are playing a 4-4-3 on a 1st and 10 on the first series of the game, also known as basically a goal line defense. And Newton sees it, and he knows what he's supposed to do. You have to throw. You can't run against it. But this pass to Damiere Byrd is out of bounds, and the point is defenses are not scared at all. Here it is again, 1st and 10, middle of the field, 4-4-3. 3 defensive backs in a world where teams play 6 defensive backs a lot. Teams are so unafraid of the Patriots' weapons and so alert to the running game. They're essentially going heavy like it's 1967. Newton sees it, he knows what he's supposed to do. He's not a scary thrower, and Jacoby Myers doesn't separate, and there you go. I mean, I have him QB 12 because he's got high upside, but if you want to avoid downside, Cam Newton has downside. You shouldn't use him. And finally, boy, it was a scare with Dalvin Cook this weekend. Probably the number 1 overall pick in fantasy if you were drafting for your fantasy playoffs right now. And then this happens. Start of the second half on Sunday, there was Dalvin Cook looking like he was going to miss the rest of the season. Frankly, my heart was in my stomach. It didn't look good. He basically did miss most of the third quarter against Carolina. But fortunately, Cook did come back in the fourth quarter. He played 16 snaps from that point forward, and he made this move in the hole, changing vectors twice, coming out of the second cut, accelerating like almost nobody else can in the NFL. There's definitely talk that he's banged up. You can't get cute. I mean, you know this, right? Mostly, I'm just showing you how close we came to disaster. He's the RB1. You cross your fingers, and you play him. And listen, like I said off the top of the show, I have a list I'm going to read from. There's a lot we don't know yet, and we're probably not going to know about a lot of it until the weekend. So you're going to have to stay tuned to the ranks on harrisfootball.com. For instance, I'm going to read right now. Will Julio Jones come back from his bad hamstring? Is Josh Jacobs going to miss time with his ankle being injured? The Dolphins' backfield. I have none of those guys ranked right now. I don't know who's coming back from injury. Zach Ertz has been activated. Does he wind up playing? Will David Johnson come back right away? DJ Chark, is he going to be healthy enough to play? Phillip Lindsay, Tua Tagovailoa, Todd Gurley, all of the COVID Ravens, will they come back? The message is that we don't really know, and so midweek ranks this week aren't going to tell the full story, so make sure. I promise I'll be updating them as best I can. I'll make guesses. In a lot of cases, it will be guesses, but check out the ranks as the week goes along at harrisfootball.com. It's a big week to win. We want to thank, again, Manscaped for sponsoring. It's a great idea for a fun gift idea. You can get a chuckle, and then you can actually get some approval because you'll be groomed and stuff. So please check out Manscaped as well, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.